Herbert Outdoors, just chilling out here in the nice outdoors. Been having a good day, enjoying the peace and quiet, and just the great outdoors. It's just absolutely awesome. But yeah, today I filmed another video. I did a video about some more uh, charwood science. Thought I would give that another try and see how well that does. And I got surprising results again. Um, I used some cedar wood. That was a surprising result there. Uh, Another little mystery item that you won't find in the outdoors woods type thing unless you are in a particular climate. But this is something that I found that I know it works with uh, part of it, but I didn't think it would work with what I had actually tried. Well, I'll try to get that video out this week so that you guys can see what I'm talking about there. But yeah, the weather out here has been absolutely great. I've been out here since Thursday, about midday, and we'll probably leave out tomorrow about midday. Nights have been pretty cool. And you can see I got over my shoulder here, I got the hammock. Uh, I haven't been brave enough to do that. It's cold. It's been getting down to, I think it got down 42 last night. I think it even the night before it got down to about 38. So it was pretty cold. Um, yeah, it's been a fun trip. I got all my luxuries out right now here for my glamping side of things. Uh, let's see if I can pivot this around. Of course, I got my EcoFlow power station here, which is powering. I don't know if you can see this here. Bring it up closer. Yeah, this makes a difference. It's rechargeable, but I'm actually charging it up now. And, the colors out here are absolutely beautiful. The wildlife. And I've got a message held for view. Let's see what it is. Oh, yeah. What a dork. You got these people that come in here and try to uh, troll you and think that they're being cool about it, and they're not. It's ridiculous that they even waste their time doing it. I've got measures in place that take care of those comments a lot of times automatically. This particular individual has been here before and he's been blocked. Yeah. And I see he's back. Of course, I know who it is in this particular case. But yeah, like I said, the weather out here has just been absolutely perfect. Would have been nice to, maybe I got a rain shower so that I could get the drama effect of it. Like everybody seems to like to do let's go camping in a thunderstorm and hurricanes and tornadoes. getting some people in here. I appreciate everybody coming out and checking things out. We're just out here, like I said, chilling in the afternoon. I went out. Nice thing about this campground here is in the state forest, and we are allowed to go collect brown and downwood, you know, off in the woods here. And, I'm just right up against the woods, and trees around here. We got Mother Nature's fire starter with the fat wood, so that's pretty cool. And like I said, I did another fire science. Roscoe Chicken and Waffles. Hey, bro. God bless. I wish I could trade places with you. Looks peaceful. Oh, it absolutely is. Now, I sound southern. No, actually, I'm in Illinois. I was actually born here, but I spent most of my life in the South, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi area, and I moved there when I was about, I would say about 13, somewhere in there, and yeah, I picked up the accent and just haven't totally lost it. Uh, oh, hey, Mona. Thanks for coming in. Can hear it a bit. Yeah, it gets worse if I'm around people that have that southern accent. Throw in a lot more y'all and what's going on and let's go down yonder and all that good stuff. But I am in a state campground in Illinois, central Illinois. Oh, cool. Got an Alabama accent. I know that accent well. Yeah, been around a lot of people from Alabama too. It's funny. Uh, Years back when I was living in Arkansas, or actually I think I was in Tennessee then, uh, company sent me to New York for I just call it a field trip, but it was to get familiarized with the company. And they send you there for a week, and they do team building exercises. But in the evening time, everybody goes down to the little bar area in the hotel, and so then after the first night, everybody would pull their tables and chairs or the table where I was. They were here sick, cow tipping and hot wiring tractors and everything. And then I think it was 2 days into it, we all loaded up on a bus, a big like Greyhound bus, and they carted us over to one of their production facilities to check it out. And on the way there, we passed the Department of Transportation, which was lit up with snowplows. And all I could do was stand up and say, "Ooh, doggies, I know what we're doing after dark. We're going to go hot wire some snowplows." And that whole bus just erupted into laughter. And it was probably at least a good 5 minutes before everybody started settling down. So, oh, I appreciate you coming by there, Kyle. It looks like one of my buddies has said he'll be there watching. I'll have to give him a holler. Hang on here just a second, folks. Let me tell him I am live. Okay, there we go. We're back. Um, am I allowed to fish or hunt and collect wild food? Uh, They do allow hunting out here. Of course, you got to be in season. They've got deer out here, I know. They got turkeys. As a matter of fact, I had a couple rode in front of me on the way in. Hey, Matt, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. We're just out here chilling. As far as fishing, not a lot of water in the state park. There's two or three little ponds, so there really isn't any fishing in here. There is a fish hatchery off that away. It's probably about 3 miles from here, but it's not something you go fishing to. And then probably another 3 miles over my shoulder here is the Illinois River, and there's the catfish and things like that out there, but it's just not. I'd rather hang out here amongst the pines and listen to the birds. In the evening time, the whippoorwills will be tweeting up a storm, and then after about 20 minutes of it, it gets annoying. The one last night went for probably about 45 minutes nonstop. So it got a little bit annoying. And last night at, I would say, the first one was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then there was another one at 3 o'clock in the morning. Another one at 3:30. And they were loud knocks. And I know the guy next to me here that's camping, I know it wasn't him. And there was somebody off on this side of me, a little ways away. I doubt it was them, but it came from way off that direction. So, um, whew, collected and cooked. Probably about the only thing was fish. Um, I'm not super good at the foraging. I mean, of course, I know what morels look like. Morels, however you say it, the mushrooms. Um, they got those around here. And then as far as edible vegetation around here, there's not a lot of it. Uh, you might find a few berries. Of course, you can make pine tea because we got the pines out here. We got hickory, we got some oak, we got the white pines, which of course I get my fat wood for Mother Nature's fire starter. That's always pretty cool. So, and then of course I did a recent camping trip here about a month ago with some guys in Missouri, and one of them happens to be there in the chat. That's two guys in the Ozarks. He's a good guy. You gotta, if you get a chance, check out some of his videos. He had a nice video that he did a walk through of his local parks that had the trees, lined on each side of the path with a little placard telling, what kind of tree it was. And that's always cool to be able to learn that kind of stuff. But the fact that they put that in a park and had some nice walking trails, you could go down and check it out. That's uh, it's an easier way to identify the plants that are out there. Of course, you're not going to identify your plants that are for foraging and eating and stuff, but yeah, I definitely need to learn more about the foraging aspect of things. I think I could learn a lot from it, but it would be a little bit difficult for me. And I'm a more the simple foods, meat and potatoes kind of guy, but I don't think I'm gonna happen across any potatoes, especially out here. Um, but yeah, there's lots of wildlife out here, deer, and of course Sam Squatch. He was out knocking last night. Don't get the strongest signal, so um, every so often, if somebody could just throw a little hello or a little something, throw me a question or two or whatever. That way, I'm sure I'm not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. A lot of people do side hustle finding the morels. We see them here on Facebook in the marketplace where a lot of people have gone out hunting for those, and they'll have big, huge cooler full of them and selling them up. Uh, and they don't go cheap. So I always thought it would be a cool side hustle, but here in Illinois, there's not a lot of, or at least in the central Illinois area, there are not a lot of um, public uh, forested areas that you can go to that has the uh, private land is, pretty much uh, they don't want anybody there. Um, so pretty much if you work with somebody, they might let you go out hunt it. If they've got a lake on it, they might let you fish it and stuff like that. But for the most part, if you try to walk up and say, "Hey, I'd like to go fishing," maybe I could do some some favors for you around your property, help you clean up something or whatever. And but nowadays, and I don't totally blame them. Um, with as much as people want to sue people for you know things that happen, it's no wonder that people just don't want strangers on their property because it's just too much risk involved. I'd love to have some, big spread of property myself, and yeah, I'd probably be like some of the others. I just wouldn't want anybody on there because, again, there's a lot of risk involved in it. And I mean, if it was somebody I work with, somebody I was, good buddies with, yeah, yeah, ginseng. Yeah, I know. Oh, I'm trying to think of his name. Nicholas Green. Uh, he uh, he goes hunting for ginseng. Oh, thanks, Mona, for the about the picture quality. Yeah, so far we're doing good. I got 5G service. When I actually go live, it hides the bar showing me what my signal strength is. Yesterday I went live and it was going good. Said I had at least 2 bars of 5G, and all of a sudden, just nobody, it seemed like nobody was making a comment, and I'm just talking away about different things here around the camp, and it's like, oh my gosh, I wonder if I'm still alive. And so I went over to uh, text some of my buddies that were watching, and they said, "Nah, you dropped off a little bit ago." And so I came back to my live, and within maybe 10 seconds, it told me that the signal was gone, and it dropped the entire live session. Hey, no problem there, too, guys. You know, that meetup that we did. If anybody has ever been to a meetup with others, or if you haven't, I recommend you maybe find some people to do those kind of things with, because you really do develop a good friendship. Uh, I think there was 7 of us total at that, and we talk in a group text probably just about daily. And I only met them, let's see, I want to say it's going on not even 3 months ago. Is that how long ago that was? Oh, okay. From the Cherokee Nation. Oh, that reminds me. Uh, I know well, years. Oh, I did see the signal. It gets spotty in and out. Am I still live here? I see a text just came in. Okay. But anyway, Nick Screen does, some archaeological digs and things like that. And he goes arrowhead hunting in, like a plowed field. And I'd really like to, find some arrowheads. I think I faintly remember as a kid finding some, but, you know, the, the more I look around this area, the more I think, um, I don't think it would have been very conducive to find arrowheads in this area, for the simple fact that, you know, one, not having water sources nearby, and even the ones that are, it just didn't have the, it's, yeah, because everything around here is pretty much cornfields. Now, granted, back in the time of Indians, they probably weren't full of cornfields, but they, I just don't think that this would have been a good, productive area to live in for them to be able to find arrowheads. Okay, thanks. Thanks, too, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah, the ginseng. Yeah, it's definitely a sought after thing. But again, like I said, I just don't think the climate around here is conducive for much of that. It is a little bit for the morels, um, but like I said, the finding land that you can go on to hunt for those, and if somebody knows you're hunting for them, they're probably gonna no, you can't come on my property, and then they go out and get them themselves. cash in on it because I don't blame them. Can't blame them for it, but it'd be cool to do it. Just like for me, it'd be cool to go gold panning sometime. But everybody owns mineral rights to everything everywhere, and if you found some, it's not really yours. So anybody else out uh, enjoying the wonderful outdoors today? May have to move here in a bit. The sun over here is creeping its way into me, just about right on the edge here. Hey, Ozark's Great Adventure. Good to see you. Yeah, and too many people leave a mess. That's true. The even here at this campground, when I got here Thursday, I went around and picked up a lot of trash. It was broken glass, um, beer can tabs. Um, this is a dry state park, so no alcohol allowed in here. But yet there were beer tabs. Uh, did At least they threw their cans away in the trash cans here. But I know people just don't respect the land. Um, I know last 4th of July I came out. I think it was uh, 2 days after the 4th of July, and it was just horrible. I mean, there were bottle rockets everywhere. And, half of them hadn't even gone off. Um, Somebody had thrown probably about 10 to 15 of the little glow sticks, and it's like they just threw them off like 10 foot off into the woods. All right, bear with me, folks, here. Hopefully, I don't lose the signal. I got to move things over a bit so we stay in the shade. Otherwise, you'll be right in the sun. So, bear with me here. Just a moment. There we go. Now you won't be getting that glare. It's winter in New Zealand. You're hunkered down by the fire and enjoying the conversation. Well, I am honored to have somebody from New Zealand in my life there. And I know some people, uh, they don't pay attention a lot to where people are from that come into their lives. Uh, you know, and sometimes it's understandable because if you become a big channel and there's a lot going on, it's hard to keep track of where everybody comes from. But uh, we're here in the U.S. You're there in New Zealand under winter conditions. Whew. I'm not a big person on the cold, but after my trip to Missouri with the guys, I know Ozark's Great Adventure there had a hot tin, and it really got me thinking that maybe I just might invest in one of those. And I finally last year, towards the end of the year, got myself a 0 degree sleeping bag, and that made a world of difference. So now maybe camping in the winters is not all that bad, and I'm thinking ahead, like July, August, temperatures get up in the 90s to, maybe even occasional triple digit. And boy, when it's out here in the, I would say from about 92 on, it's kind of rough. But I got my trusty little fan here. Ah, keep me cool. Yeah, two guys. Do you, if I recall, do you have a hot tent too? I couldn't remember if you had one. I know I've seen your other tent that when you and the wifey uh, went out. Oh, Mona, absolutely. You know, I always called, when I watch other people's videos, is I get to live vicariously through them. Um, even when we had our get together, Ozark's Great Adventures, uh, they uh, they made an adventure up the side of a, you could say it was a mountain, but uh, Ozark's Woodsman Stories and more. In late, never fix some game cam and squat cam. Hey Woodsman, I had 3 knocks last night. 3 of them. One about 2, one about 3, and then another one about 3:30. And it was just off over that way. Yeah. And it was not my neighbor on that side, and it was not my neighbor on that side. Yeah. Some more people rolling in. It's amazing out here in the campground. Of course, we're probably about 10 minutes from the nearest town, um, but it's just a little tiny town. But I mean, from anything major, we're probably about uh, what do I say? We're probably about 45 minutes from, anything really major. And so people out here, I guess they have nothing better to do than just drive through the campground. There's a road out there, there's a road over there, there's a road that goes off that way, and then you got this little bitty campground right here, and they have to drive through it. And they drive through it, you know, even late at night. I've seen them, people just come driving through, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy. I was going to tell you guys, so uh, for those of you that don't know, Ozarks Woodsman Stories and More, Two Guys in the Ozarks, and Ozarks Great Adventures. Those are uh, 3 of the guys that went to the meetup, so they know a lot about these stories that I tell from the meetup, and they're all great guys. Uh, Ozarks Woodsman, another great storyteller. He's got some funny stuff out there. Randy over at Ozark's Great Adventures, he's got some great adventures. You know, I wish I could, just take a course under him and figure out the style that he does. Uh, 2 knocks, Glory. That's scary. Do you have any security cameras? Is there a ring camera for tents? Um, no, there isn't. Ozark Stories and More, he uses game cameras. Um, I thought about doing that. Uh, I got another consideration for a camera that it does have motion detection, and it does have, the night vision and things like that. It's not bad. It's actually intended for a security camera for a home, but you can set it up. Uh, you know, I could set it up. I could set it on top of my vehicle, or something's got a little magnetic mount, or I could just tie it up to the tree here or something. And you can run it off of a USB battery source. So I've been considering that. As far as, do I feel safe out here? I'm not worried. Um, and I have a security system even for my tent. And it's a unique little idea that I came up with. Um, I can actually set it up inside the tent. If I decided I was going to go off on a hike or something, which there's hiking trails around this, it is one of those little alarms that, you basically, it's like a keychain alarm thing that once you separate it, it sets off a high piercing alarm sound. So I attach it to something heavy inside the tent, like my cot. It's heavy enough, and then I can hook it to, reach in and hook it to the zipper once I close it up. And that way, if somebody goes to unzip the tent, it will disconnect. And by the time they figure out what's going on and try to figure out how to get it back together, because now the piece they need is way up here and won't meet the other piece that's way down at the bottom. Uh, they're not going to be able to do that. Yeah, getting the ring. Yeah, I've got Weiss cameras. They're the prices on those are actually pretty decent, and they've got good quality pictures and stuff. Now, if you want long-term recorded stuff, they've got a little subscription plan that you go under, which is not real expensive. That'll keep, I think, up to 30 days of footage for you. But like I said, the Weiss camera, it can be operated off of, like if you got your phone, you can set up a hotspot and then have the camera connect to it. Oh, hey, buddy. What's going on? Premier Hell. That's one of the OGs there for my channel. He's getting ready to go camping himself. Yeah, I think I would give him a little more than just electric shock. Uh, but you know, uh, in with the laws today, you actually cannot. Uh, 3,000 miles away. Grief, are you going on the other side of the United States? But you can't booby trap things that can actually harm somebody. That'll get you in a lot of trouble. Hey, Randy, no problem. You know, you have actually uh, inspired me to get better about uh, moving the camera around. Of course, I'm sitting here, you know, pretty much not moving around in front of a live camera here, but moving your camera around when you're recording the video to give different vantage points, and, and you really capture people's attention in your videos. So that's really cool. The cave video you did, uh, boy, that was risky as all get out. If you guys get a chance, you gotta go check that out. Where he went and explored a cave, and he was thinking about doing a stealth camp in it. And I sure I couldn't have done it. Of course I'm claustrophobic, but going to Tennessee. So you'll be south of me then. Yeah. Full. Yeah, last time I talked to Premier Hell, whew, that's been a while. Electric fences. Hmm. There you go. That's an interesting idea. Of course, I've also been thinking about uh, motion lights because I have had, uh, like I said, we are out here for the most part in a little bit of the boonies. Uh, no more near as remote as it was like when I went camping in Missouri, but uh, here, like I said, you got a lot of locals that ride around at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Had one night, uh, somebody pulled up right next to my vehicle over here, and you've got a little drive that you pull in for your campsite, and they just pulled up on the, I can't even say the grass, uh, up on the pine needles, and in the middle of the night, they, started hollering at me and honking the horn. Hey, you in the tent? Yeah, what do you want? Oh, we found this dog out on the road and thought it might be yours. Now, mind you, I was the only site that they stopped at to do that because I heard them coming in. And of course, their headlights are shining right at my tent. And then I said, no, it's not my dog, you know, move along. Well, they sat there for a bit, and I could tell that, uh, there was a woman that, was doing the hollering. She got out on the driver's side, and there was a guy that got out on the passenger side. He's kind of pacing back and forth beside my vehicle, and a dog had gotten out when he got out. But then when he walked back to get back in, the dog immediately jumped back up inside with him. He didn't say anything. The dog just did it naturally, which was highly suspicious. Um, and then they left, pulled around. We've got these loops here there's 3 loops here for the campsites, but they pulled around at the bathroom, didn't get out. They just sat there for a few minutes and they left. Hey, Blake, good to see you. Just hanging out here camping, telling a few little stories and whatnot. But after they left, they did sit at the bathroom there for uh, 4 or 5 minutes. I'm thinking, which was odd. I don't know what they're doing, but I was in the first loop of the campground. There are two more loops, and finally they left. About 30 minutes later, they came back in, went to the second loop, and started stopping and honking and yelling that they found the dog, and then they did it at the third loop. I'm like, okay, you know, this is really creepy. Yeah, suspicious and creepy. That's exactly what I was thinking. And they sounded like they were 3 sheets from the wind, so they're fishing and picking blackberries. Ooh, that sounds like fun. But yeah, every so often something a little peculiar out of the way happens like that, and that's when you think, mm, maybe a camera. Of course, camera's not going to protect you. I set up the alarm on the tent at night because I put in a full day. And oh, hey Molly, how's it going? There's another friend from another meetup I did a couple years ago. Molly was awesome. It was awesome to meet her. Of course, I know her through her husband, who is a pest hunter there. And but Molly, she did something that just it shows the greatness of people. Um, we had a get together, and there was, I don't remember how many there was. There was probably 10, 12 of us there. Some came and went, but we had a meetup, a camping trip, and we had a I guess they call it a to-go bag or something, a bushcrafting bag giveaway, and yeah, yeah, that does suck there, Blake. But yeah, we did this giveaway, and one of the items that was in the pack giveaway was a little folding shovel, and I saw that, and I was like, man, I'd love to have one of those. Well, there was some wheeling and dealing done, and then next thing you know, she presented it to me, and that was just, it was heartwarming. It really was. And I still got it. I've used it. It works great. Bass and lumbering so far. Man, I've been itching to have largemouth bass, but unfortunately around here you just can't. Uh, they put so many restrictions on them that you just can't even get any. I think most places are like you can keep one, and it's got to be a certain size, and it's usually real small. So you're lucky if it's enough for one person to eat. But, have I had any purple rain? No, I have not had any purple rain, but like I said, I did have 3 knocks last night, and that was cool. I was, even though the knocks woke me up, or the first one did. The other two, I was awake. But it's amazing how you know immediately that that was a knock, even though you were dead asleep. I come to and it's like, I know what that sound was. So, Randy, are you still out camping? Did your buddy ever show up? Yeah, flamethrower. Yeah. Um, no, like I said, uh, I don't think there's anything serious out here to worry about. Um, it's it's been pretty chill. Um, Probably the only thing that's really been, uh, I guess, sus was when I guess it was probably 2 summers ago. Might even have been 3. I was out here, and the park guys, and they're not like camping attendants. They're the guys that maintain the state park. They came out here, and they asked me, had I seen anybody just wandering or walking around. Of course, I was the only one in the campground, and I said, no, I hadn't seen anybody. They said, well, yeah. Now this is Friday morning, mind you, and they asked me if I had seen anybody wandering around. I said no. And then he said, well, there was a guy that was reported missing, uh, I think the Monday or Tuesday in the week. And, they still haven't found him. Oh, okay. Well, you know, you can't go, too terribly far out here, and you'll find a road that'll lead you somewhere. So you couldn't have been too terribly lost. And it wasn't cold weather. Got me a box of rocks. I can't wait. But yeah, so like I said, they said that they were uh, missing somebody, and then I think I think he came through Saturday, and but he didn't say anything more about finding him. And then I noticed a big black bus that came through. It was a school bus converted for somebody to camp out of, but it was painted all black, and they were pulling a trailer. How they made it into this campground is beyond me, because right over there is a tight squeeze. Uh, the I don't even know how they made it through there with that long bus and a trailer. But the bus went back over in the far end of the campground there, and it was a gal and a kid, and they stayed for a couple hours, and then they left. And then come Sunday morning, the park guy comes through, and he says, yeah, they finally found the guy. He was up the road here, probably about 2 miles, and he was beating on people's doors. He had an axe, said he was going to kill people, and just going crazy. And come to find out, he was a meth head. They found a bunch of meth on him. Well, the black bus was his girlfriend, and she brought him out here, even though they had a restraining order against each other, and she was out here to see if he had came back. So she was gonna, I guess, pick him up, even though she's under a restraining order to stay away from him. But that was a little sus right there. To have somebody that whacked out of their head, and saying they're gonna kill people and stuff. Yeah, don't come around my camp. I've got a couple more stories from out here, but we'll save those for another time. Box of rocks, man. That'd be awesome. He's got me some good flint chert rocks from Missouri area. I know I picked up some, but uh, the quality of the ones are nowhere near the ones that he showed me he's got. So he's gonna be sending me some so I can do the flint and steel. Uh, Wanted experiments today out some different kinds of uh, wood to make char wood, and even a surprising uh, another item that I tried. Yeah, yeah, that was crazy. They actually both. She ended up getting arrested too because she was caught with a bunch of meth, and her son ended up having to go to protective services, and there was no family to. I feel sorry for the kid. That's what he's got to uh, look over him. Hopefully, they get him someplace safe and sound that he can have a good life. Oh man, if I could just bottle this atmosphere and be able to, take a dose of it whenever I'm, you know, in the city life or the city world, that would be cool. The outdoors has always been my solar power for recharging. So I'm out here soaking that up the energy, and that kind of doesn't supply this big boy, but sun does, but not the relaxing outdoors. I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear those birds just singing away. That is something else. But I did not sleep in it last night there. It was pretty cold last night. I think it got down to like 42, and I don't have an underquilt for it. So I think that's. I have no problem sleeping in it. I just, it's cold that would be kind of tough. So I think that's probably going to be on my list of things to get. But once it warms up out here, it does get uh, pretty warm out here. This would be ideal for that. And of course, you can see over my shoulder here. It's actually hanging down below it, but it's got the bug net that goes over it, so I don't have to worry about the skeeters and other critters coming in. And I got this nice uh, tarp that goes overhead. That's a 11 by 16 tarp. Um, the only problem is if it were to come rain, uh, it's probably not wide enough on the ends, so it would come down. Mosquitoes are. I think I've seen maybe two, but I also use. Let's see. this stuff right here. It's called Bug. I swear by this stuff. It repels gnats and mosquitoes. And the gnats are real bad out here. The little black flies. They just get thicker than bugs on a bumper. And you know, you try to sit down and have a meal, and you go to take a bite, and you'll get 5 of them in your mouth if you go that route. But you put some of this stuff on, and it'll like, where'd they all go? And I have scientifically proven it to myself. I don't have to worry about proving it to anybody else. I proved it to myself. It works. And this is a stuff with a lot of the natural oils in it. It's got I don't know how you pronounce this. Geraniol oil, peppermint oil, lemongrass oil, clove oil, water, castor oil, hydrogenated vanilla, and sodium benzoate. I don't know if any of those are really, really bad for you or what, but most of them are natural oils, so I wouldn't think those would be too bad. Yeah, last 2 weekends ago, or a week and a half ago, I was out here camping, had ticks. Um, I found 2 of them on me, and uh, so before I came out, I sprayed down my gear with the permethrin, and I have yet to see a tick. I have been in the woods probably 5 or 6 times gathering firewood and stuff, so that stuff works too. What's the brand? This here, I don't know if that's probably backwards, but it's called Bug, and they do sell that on Amazon. So yeah. Oh, well, I guess if I spray too much of it on me, does that mean I'm gonna have beavers coming in on me? Let's see. But I missed some comment here. Roaming food trucks to come around. That would be cool. Or even an ice cream truck. That would be great. Now I do remember out in Colorado. I used to live out there. We used to go out to this lake and go fishing. We were belly boat fishing, which is basically a U-shaped inner tube, and then you've got like a little hammock that you sit in, and then a net that goes across in front of you. So you kind of sit in it, and the lower part of your body would be in the water. You wear flippers to propel you, and uh, waders to keep from getting soaked. But it got pretty hot one day, and we were out on the lake. We came off the water about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're packing our gear up, and in rolls the ice cream truck. And I saw guys coming from across the lake, on with actual motorboats, just hauling to make it to shore to be able to get some ice cream. Oh, huh. Yo, Sam. This could be why I got 3 knocks last night. Those, I'm kid you not. I am not lying about this. I did hear 3 knocks last night. Yeah, Ozark woodsman there. I was watching that video you put out of the game cameras, and it was, I think, probably within the first. I know it was within the first minute. A little to the. Oh, Molly, I will see you later. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. It's good to hear from you again. Um, but like I said, about a minute into it, I think on the left hand side here, about where the in the video is where I saw something tall and dark moving. So you might look there. And then there was later on in your video, over on this side, it was up a little bit higher. Uh, and I want to say it's about 3/4 of the way through the video. I saw dark, shadowy figures moving through on your game cameras there. So I think there was something there. I thought about uh, setting up my one of my cameras here. It does all right in the dark if there's some moonlight, and like the last 2 nights we've had just near a full moon. They just had a freeze moment there. Probably a little bit of signal issue. Hopefully we're still good, because if it starts doing that, then I worry if we're still live. But yeah, I did take a picture last night from my campfire, which is right over here. If I'm sitting at it and looking out that way, I got a big view out through the top of the pine trees there, where I can watch the moon cross the sky, and it's pretty cool. And I took a picture with my phone that it takes the light that it collects around it and just makes it almost like it's daylight. The, the GoPro night lapse. I have not tried that. I know I've got I think a 10. I think that's the two versions that I have, and they don't do so well at, just regular recording in dark. Um, I don't even know if the 360 has it, to be honest with you. I haven't tried it either. Although I did, when I did the footage from our meetup with the 360 camera, it did not do so well in the low light. Everything was very dull and kind of washed out. Whereas if you're out in sunlight, I mean it's crystal clear. It records in 2K, but that's spread out over the full 360. Yeah, I'll have to check on my 10 and see if I can try that out. That'd be kind of interesting. The other camera I use, uh, these are actually good little cameras to use. I think picked these up pretty cheap. And I know a lot of people don't like to use the little camcorders, but I've got the little Canon here, and it's got a 57x zoom. It's a Vixia HF R600, and it does a great job. A lot of my videos are recorded on just this little camera right here, but does a great job of it. It has a zoom, whereas, the GoPro, you just can't get that zoom quality. You can do it in editing, but not uh, on the fly with the camera itself. Um, but it's got the fold out and then the flip, so you can see what's showing. But I picked these things up. Now they're only HD quality. They don't have the 4K. But let's face it, unless you're watching it on a TV, there's not many people that are watching your videos in 4K. So use use your 10 to do it. Okay, I'm gonna try that. Yeah, and so I've got this one, and I've got a Sony, and I think this one here uh, got with the bag. It it had one battery, had a memory card, but it was like a 16 gig little bitty thing. And I think I got it for like 50. And the Sony, uh, it does a little bit better job of like an image stabilizing, but it's still the 1080. It's not 4K, and I think it's got a 60 zoom on it. I think I picked that one up for $35. I think they knew that it wasn't going to work because it would not charge the battery. They didn't have a charger. If you tried to plug into their little port for charging, it didn't charge. So I just jumped on Amazon and picked me up, I think it was like $23 for a replacement battery. It worked like a charm. And so now I use these. I don't know if if you look at some of my past videos where I have the picture in picture. Sometimes it's been from a GoPro camera. Sometimes it's been from this, or I've got the vlogging camera, the Sony ZV-1. That one works pretty good. That one's real clear. That one will do 4K. Yeah, I'll bet. Transferring from 8 millimeter to digital. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I picked these up cheap off of Facebook Marketplace, and they work great. Like I said, I picked up an extra or a charger here, and then I've got some extra high capacity batteries for these. This little one here, you can see how big it is the one that came with it, and then picked up the high capacity battery, which you can see is much bigger. And I can get I think 150 hours out of this battery here for it, so it works pretty good. Love these things, and especially uh, like I said, on YouTube, you got to keep the attention of people, so you got to have different, switch around angles of videos and stuff like that. And it's real nice to just set up, like 3 cameras and then splice them together when you need it. So bear with me here just one quick second. It might freeze up. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I do like to take the memory cards on the side of these things. You just got a little door that flips open, and there's your memory card inside there. I've got the adapter in there so I can use the uh, micro uh, micro SD cards in there, and then I've got the bigger one. So you can see it there in the top. That way, I can interchange all the memory cards with all my cameras, from my uh, 360 camera to my handy cams to my uh, Sony ZV-1. Um, let's see. Oh, and my GoPros. Yeah. So the GoPros I like, if I'm going to go do a hike, and I can strap it on as a chest mount or mount it on the hat. Um, I know one of the videos I did for finding Herbert T, which he's out there somewhere. He's probably camped with old Sam Squatch. Uh, I used my uh, this very camera right here, the Canon. I used that to film that, and the colors just uh, uh, hiking through the woods just really popped. And I was surprised that came out of that camera, because usually I would have used a GoPro for it to get the better colors. If you guys will bear with me just 1 minute, I got to go for more refreshment here. I am empty, and I will be right back. Let you kind of see the camp there. And we are back. Hopefully we are still alive and haven't lost the video here. Since the signal's not so great, I'm always afraid to move the phone because I might lose that optimal signal spot. I know out here, another issue with uh, I talked about the foraging and not being able to get a lot of edible plants. I mean, there's some, but not anything you would want to sustain yourself on. But there's also a lack of natural salt licks out here. So any time any salt gets left out here, the butterflies just flock to it. I'll have to dig it up. I've got a photo of a spot, and just up the road there's like a pavilion that you can pull over to, and have like a lunch or a little cookout with some people there into the pavilion. And they got, I think it's a single row, 3 picnic tables in there, and then they got a barbecue pit. But somebody obviously stopped and used that as a restroom, and there was the spot on the ground, and I would say there was probably at least, you know, 60 to 70 butterflies in a like a 3 foot radius circle on the ground because of the salt. So wherever they can find it, they will. Are we still live, guys? I haven't seen a comment lately. If you don't mind, somebody just give me a woohoo, a hooty hoo. Oh, we're still good. All right, awesome. I appreciate that, Woodsman. Yeah, it's always good to have friends that you can count on. Oh man, I wish you guys were here. This is so nice, so relaxing. You know, we had the perfect weather for our meetup. That was, I can't ask for any better weather. Well, this isn't too bad. It's a little bit hot today. It did, I think it almost made it to 80. It's starting to cool down just a smidge. And then, of course, you know, probably get the campfire going about 6 o'clock. And uh, I don't make a big campfire because it is still quite warm. And, you know, you're just basically um, doing it for the ambiance rather than for uh, warmth or for cooking. But nice, beautiful Saturday. Of course, tomorrow we'll have it's Mother's Day, so I probably won't be, you know, since I did the yesterday and today, I probably won't be doing the the normal Sunday live stream at 7 o'clock because it is Mother's Day. I want everybody to spend their time with their family because family is important. Here comes the minibus people. And got a minibus with 2 kayaks on top of it. Now that's about the biggest sizes of a camping vehicle that I would bring in here. I have seen, I know one guy came in here and he had probably I think it was a 20-foot trailer, and he pulled in on the first loop here, but I don't know if he was, I wasn't sure he was even going to make it through that, and it would have been a pain to back it out of here, because you know the pine trees around the loops here are so close together. Um, you know, to make a turn or to try to back into one of these spots at a 90-degree back in. Uh, don't know why they do it. I mean, this is really ideal for, you know, if you got a SUV you camp out of, or if you tent camp or hammock camp, it's great. But for RVs and things like that. Oh, I did see somebody came in uh, not this past weekend, the weekend before, a big RV, and they parked in the one site that has an electric hookup, but that was for a camp attendant. And I guess they kind of got a rude awakening when they found out that there was no power to it. The water wasn't turned on for the spigot. So then they drug out the generator and that was a little on the annoying side, because when you come out here, last thing you want to hear is a generator, and they did run it at night. I only did it for a few hours, but it was still annoying. I should have caught one of the whippoorwills and put it inside their RV with them. Let them listen to that for a couple hours. But, well, folks, it has been absolutely awesome. Appreciate everybody joining me. A few of my crazy stories out here, suspect. Uh, we're going to be on Squatch Watch tonight. Maybe we'll get to see or hear something. Maybe I'll give a few knocks and see if I hear any knocks back. That'll be cool. Matter of fact, I got some good stuff for that. But I appreciate that, Woodsman. I appreciate you watching. But yep, I'm gonna get busy here. I got some wood to cut up for campfire tonight. Get that going, and see if we can't rouse this up something good to eat. I've had ice steaks the last 2 nights. I'm thinking something different for tonight. Not sure what we'll have, but again, you guys have been awesome. Hope you enjoyed this. A few stories, a little look-see around the campground, and I appreciate you for spending some Saturday with me. All right, Mona, thank you very much. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully, you get to see some summer weather as opposed to your winter weather. I wouldn't mind a little bit of it if you could send it this way. I don't want it to get too hot. But we appreciate you. You guys have a wonderful weekend. And again, tomorrow is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And remember, be kind to one another. We'll catch you on the next one. Yeah, me too. Have a good one.